Alright, hey everyone out there in mandolin land, Mike Heading here. I've got another little mandolin mini lesson for you today. We're going to be talking about basic slide technique. So you can do a slide on any instrument, mandolin, fiddle, guitar, banjo. I'm going to break down the basic slide technique to just give you some practice sliding around. Slides are great for mandolin because you can add them to any song you have. It's a great way to take a simple song you know, add some slides that'll make it, spice it up a little bit, make it a little bit more advanced. So I'm going to break it down right now. Alright, so let's look at some basic technique for how to do slides on the mandolin. So slides are just a way to make a basic melody more fancy. Another way you can also think about it is a slide is a great way to mimic basically an instrument without frets. So something like a voice or something like a violin that doesn't have frets, they can do those kind of cool, really bluesy slides where they play in between the notes, which sounds really, really cool. On a mandolin, we can't actually do that, or a guitar, because we have frets. So a slide is a way to imply that. We're basically trying to imply that there's more notes that are really there. So again, it's also a way to spice up a basic melody that you know. So these are slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs are a great way to add ornaments to your playing, to take a basic melody you know and spice it up. Okay, so let me show you just the basic technique. Let's do it on the highest string. It'll be easiest to start out with on the highest string because it's the thinnest string. And let's use our middle finger, our middle finger of our left hand. Let's play the second fret, and then let's try and slide up. So we're basically trying to play a note and then change the sound with a slide. And you can slide backwards or forwards. And what I always say on any instrument is get a really solid first note. The more first note you have to work with, the more you'll hear the slide. You need that first note as reference. You know, you can try it from any fret really. You know, you can't slide to open obviously, so you have to slide between different fretted notes. You can try it with a different finger, try it with your first finger. And a good rule of thumb that you want to think about with your slides is what finger would you normally use when you got to your final destination? So let's say I wanted to slide from 3 to 5 on the highest string. So normally I might use my third finger up on that 5th fret. So I wouldn't want to slide with my first finger because then I'm kind of out of position once I'm up there. So I would want to think of, okay, what finger would I normally want to use when I'm up on that 5th fret? So probably my third finger, maybe my second, but most likely my third. So I'm going to actually have to shift down a little bit. And then once I get up there, now I'm in the correct position. So always think of what finger would you normally use if you were just playing that note on its own. So, and again, we're thinking of where you're ending up, not where you're starting. Because if you pick which finger you're going to start with, you know, and maybe I have to go backwards, then I'm out of position. Whereas if I do it this way, you know, something like clinch mount backstep or something like that, if I did with my first finger, you know, now I'm out of position. So always think of what finger you would need when you're normally up there. So now let me give you some basic slides you can do for each finger. So let's start with our first finger and let's just do 1 to 2. I'm going to slide on the A string from 1 to 2 and then I'm going to hit the string above it. Or you can play them both at the same time. That can also sound cool. The other thing you can do with slides is you can change the duration. So you can slide quick or you can draw it out. Again, either way I'm doing it, I'm getting a really solid first note. Let's try it on the D string. Try it on the low G. That can sound cool if you're doing a strum on a D. Something like that. Another one you can do with your second finger is 2 to 4. Or slide back down. Try it on the D string. So I'm sliding up from 2 to 4, hitting the open A string, and then sliding back down, and then hitting the open string. A string. Or you can slide from 3 to 4, that's a little bluesier. Lastly, another very common slide is sliding up to where that note, it's like our open D string, finding that note on a lower string. So in this case, it's the 7th fret, and then sliding into that note. So you could slide from 5 to 7, 6 to 7, or 4 to 7. Any of them will sound good. So that note will be at the 7th fret on the lower string if your mandolin's in tune. So you can practice sliding. And that one I'm actually hitting the lowest 2 pairs and basically filling that up. That's a very common fiddle start to a song. You might hear. Again, you can practice from 6 to 7, 5 to 7, or 4 to 7. Remember, I'm always using the finger that I would want to use when I'm up there, so that's why I'm sliding with my 3rd finger. Try it on the D string. You know, you could use that for like something like 9-pound hammer to start instead of going. You know, you could do. So you add some slides to spice it up a little bit. Lastly, try it on the A string. So at first just practice sliding around. It doesn't really matter where you slide up to or where you slide down to. You can kind of work on that later. First thing you're working on is just getting a solid note to where you really hear the slide and that you stop on the fret that you're trying to shoot for. So remember, keep the pressure of your left hand down, get a really solid first note, and prepare with what finger you want to use when you're up there so you don't slide out of position. Those are the main important things with practicing your slides. And these are things you can add to any song, so you can't really get too much practice with slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs, which I'll break down in another lesson. All right, hopefully that helps you out. All right, good luck.